Here Narada Muni is describing the rules and regulations regarding the life of one in the ashram of brahmacharya. In the varnashram system, there are 4 ashrams: brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas. Of these 4 ashrams, there is absolutely no concession for sex life in 3 stages of one's life. For the brahmachari, there is absolutely no sex life. For the vanaprastha, he is retired from any sensual relationships with his wife, which means no sex life. And for the sannyasi, of course, it is strictly prohibited. And in the grihastha ashram, there is a concession under strict regulation. Unrestricted sex life in the grihastha ashram means grihamedi, means one's heart fills with envy and various other material desires, and he is not categorized within the varnashram system. Grihastha ashram means under strict supervision. It is described by Narada Muni in this very chapter concerning grihastha ashram, that a grihastha is only to have sex life with the blessings of the guru and the great sadhus, which means ideally for the purpose of procreating God-conscious children. So we can see by this whole arrangement, which is created by God himself, Chatur Varna Mayastristam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. Lord Sri Krishna declares in the Gita that he is the author of the varnashram system. It is not that a moralist has compiled these rules and regulations, but this is the direction of God himself as the only means of spiritual upliftment. So therefore, we can understand how endlessly entangling sense gratification is. And of all forms of sense gratification, sex life is the most bewildering. Lord Rishabdev has described Pungsastriya maituni bhavametam tayormito hridaya granti mahu ato griha kshetra sutapti vitaya janasya mohoya mahammameti. That the attraction between the male and female is the basic principle of all material bondage. When the male and female are attracted to one another, they come together. And when the sex life takes place, there is a hard knot tied within the heart. And this knot is very, very difficult ever to disentangle. And due to this attachment, atog grihakshetra sutat janasya mohoya mahammameti. This means one endlessly becomes attached to wife, to children, to home, to material possessions, to prestige. And one continues in this false, illusory conception of I and mine. So the brahmachari ashram is a very glorious opportunity by which one can train in such a way to become free from this disturbing element of life altogether. And here it is described that uncivilized society has no appreciation for the brahmacharya vow. But in truth, one must be, in order to be civilized above the animal, one must be very, very careful, very cautious in one's dealing with the opposite sex. Nanvagni pramana nama grita kumbha samapuman. That the opposite sex is like fire. and you should consider yourself to be like butter. And if there is too close and intimate mingling, then it is not a question of maybe, it is a question of a matter of time till you melt. That is the word of Srimad-Bhagavatam. That is the word of God. So therefore one must be very, very diligent not to trust the mind or the senses. It is described by Jadbharat in the Bhagavatam that the aspiring transcendentalist, he is like a hunter who is trying to keep his mind and senses in captivity. Because the mind and senses, when they are uncontrolled, are like the most ferocious, all-devouring animals. When you capture a wild animal, do you ever trust it? You keep very diligent watch of it at all times. You do not give it any freedom. Because if you do, that animal will either escape or will destroy you. So this is the way a sincere devotee of the Lord deals with his mind and senses. He never puts his trust or faith in the mind and senses.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on devotionalnectar.com.